Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. We're going live for the first time. There might be some technical difficulties. I hope you can hear me. I'm going to get our Instagram live set up right now. You're going to see how we do this typically week in, week out. Bear with us as this is our first week doing this, and we did just have a camera stand fail us. Thank you for being here. You have to have one of each. Yeah, this one's for the iPad. I get to hear you in YouTube land. Hello, you lovely humans. Thank you for being here. It's Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock. It's time for a Wednesday weekly here at 3D Wellness. I'm Drew Detzner, owner, operator, clinician, staff educator. I got all sorts of credentials. Tonight we're doing something special. It's July, and I promised myself by July that I would stream to YouTube Live while I do Instagram Live. So you will see my attention divided tonight between two different cameras, as we got one taking us straight to YouTube Live, hello, and one on Instagram Live. As always, we have the incomparable two boots here, Lori LeClaire, watching the chat on Instagram Live. So for all you folks out in YouTube land, we're not watching the chat if you're chatting in, so do me a big favor. We have our phone number up here. It's 262-505-5012. If you have any questions, concerns, call us. We will answer them live on the air. For all of you on Instagram, you can just chat in your questions. I'm happy that all of you are here. I also want to point out that we get hundreds of views after the fact. So the fact that we don't have tons of people live, not a big deal to us, because we see how many hundreds of views we get after the fact, where these people are still getting information from us. This is good stuff. Whether you're here live or after the fact, I think I have the perfect topic to kick things off with tonight. We're going to talk about alcohol. Because it's grilling season and tomorrow's the 4th of July, so if you're watching this in America, you know what I'm talking about. Remember that this is Ask Me Anything, so you can ask me anything. I'm just going to start with this topic. Sometimes it gets those brain juices flowing better. Alcohol. People ask me all the time, if I overindulge, what can I do to feel better? Or if I know there's an event coming up, and it's usually bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, weddings, and funerals, where people tend to have a lot of alcohol. I wanted to give you an idea of a couple of things you can do. I also wanted to give you an idea if you crave alcohol, if you think about alcohol pretty consistently, things you can do to help yourself. So let's start with that. So if you have cravings for alcohol, I want you to know that something that alcohol does to us is it causes our body to release a certain vitamin from our reserves. When we have alcohol, vitamin B1 gets released from the reserves that are in our body. Most of those reserves are inside of our brain. Some of them are in our liver. When we have alcohol, that gets dumped out. Vitamin B1 makes you feel pretty good. Now you mix that in with a lack of inhibition, and all of a sudden you see some people's behaviors really start to change. So if you're craving alcohol, it might be because your body has become expectant upon, you know what, the way I'm going to feel better, the way I'm going to get this B1 out into my bloodstream and circulating, I'll have some alcohol, that'll get the B1 out of the reserves and into circulation. So instead of having alcohol, what you can do is you can take Cataplex B Core. by standard process. Most people, it's 3 a day. It's not a huge dose. It's not a crazy dose. Cataplex B core is food source of vitamin B1. So you can get your body that vitamin that helps it with mood and helps it feel good without the stress of taking in alcohol. Yes, I call taking in alcohol stress because whatever form it is in, it is still a form of stress to the body. Okay? I'm also not going to stand up here and act like I never have a drink of alcohol. I'm just totally honest with myself. It is a form of stress. So you can start some Cataplex B core. If you don't know where to find that, you can head over to our Instagram profile. There's a link in the bio to our store. Cataplex B core is one of the things you can order. We'll ship it straight to your door. If you're off in YouTube land, find us on Instagram at DDD Wellness. The link is in the bio for ordering this, or you can always call us. We'll get it shipped out to you. Now, if you're worried about overindulging, so this is what I call hangover prevention. Prevention. There we go. Did I do that right, Two Boots?
Oh, there's extra I in the middle and an extra T. Take out that it. There you go.
Thank you. It's part of the reason we give her the big bucks. All right. Hangover prevention. So you know you're going to an event where there's going to be a lot of alcohol, or it's a long event, and you're going to be doing alcohol for a long time. What can you do to help your body deal with it? There's a handful of supplements. The first one is one of the best ever. It's Spanish black radish. If you haven't heard me talk about Spanish black radish and loving it, you haven't known me very long. We got Spanish black radish. The next one is AF beta food. And then there is GI Adsorb. All right, let's talk about how to use these. I'm realizing, disclaimer, I'm not promoting overindulging in alcohol. If it's going to happen, here's some things to dull the impact, okay? Blunt the impact, so to speak. So Spanish black radish, what you want to do is you want to take 3 of these before and 3 with your last drink. You want to do the same thing with your AF beta food. You take 3 of them before you start drinking and 3 of them with your last drink. After you're done consuming alcohol, I want you to get a glass of water that's about 12 ounces. And I want you to wash down 3 of these GI Adsorb. They're capsules. Now here's the science behind this. Spanish black radish has been studied and proven to improve the efficiency of the liver's ability to clear toxins from the bloodstream. When we have alcohol, what happens is there's this product called acetaldehyde. That's formed because we had alcohol. And it doesn't clear from our system as quickly as we react to alcohol. And that's one of the reasons people get hangovers, is we get drunker faster than we get sober. I hope that makes sense to you. Mm-hmm. Spanish black radish helps the liver clear things from the bloodstream, including things like what happens when we have alcohol. So you start taking it before you have drinks, because then your liver's kind of primed for some work. And you take it with the last drink so that, you know, liver, look, you put in some good work. I want to reward you at the end of a long day. Same thing with AF beta food. The idea here is that AF beta food helps the liver produce something called bile. Bile is the primary product of the liver. It helps us digest fats. It's also something that the body uses to balance pH in the intestines. The reason it's important to have it when you're having alcohol is we want to know that your liver is able to still make bile, even though it's working on that alcohol, to keep everything moving through your digestive tract. If you support the way the liver processes things with Spanish black radish, and you keep things moving through your digestive tract with AF beta food, it is much less work for your body to deal with alcohol. At the end of the night, you take that tall glass of water and you take 3 caps of GI Adsorb, because this is a type of clay. This will soak up all sorts of things in your system, especially stressors and toxins, like the toxins that come from drinking alcohol. So what you're doing is you're giving your body a chance at the end of the night before you go to sleep. I'm going to put something in you that's going to help your body deal with the stress. That's the GI Adsorb. This is safe to do daily. That doesn't mean I want you to overindulge in alcohol daily, but you can do this combination of supplements daily. It's very easy to do. If you're wondering how to get these supplements, good news, same place as the Cataplex B Core. There's a link in the bio on Instagram. You lovely folks on YouTube, you can head over to Instagram and check that out, or you can call us, you can email us. We'll get you set up with this. But it's grilling season here in Wisconsin, at least. So I know people are going to be indulging in alcohol, but whatever time of year it is, if you're having alcohol, you can do things to lessen the stress it puts on your body. All right, cool. That's my PSA. I feel much better. All right, Two Boots, any questions, Roland?
No questions rolling in.
No questions, okay.
Except this one.
Yeah.
How do you feel about juicing?
Juicing?
Yeah, like I
Good
guess
question.
one of my questions is, when we juice, are we missing the value of the fiber you get from the whole vegetable or the fruit?
All right, so like the pros of juicing, pretty concentrated nutrient. I think everybody can appreciate that it's easier to drink a glass of orange juice, apple juice, carrot juice than it is to eat the amount of carrots that it takes to make a glass of carrot juice or apple juice, okay? So that's really nice to get that. We get that big dose of nutrients. That's pretty cool. You mentioned one of the cons already. One of the cons is the loss of fiber that's in there. We know fiber has a lot of benefits for us. So we want to make sure that we're getting fiber. I've heard people promote different ranges for daily intake of fiber, and I've never found one that I really agreed with. That is a very individualized need. So I don't promote any ranges, because I'd rather work with somebody individually to say, oh, here's how much fiber you should have in a given day. All right, so if we look at these two things, the pros of juicing is it's concentrated nutrient. The con is that it's the loss of fiber. So why would we juice? Is if there's a certain nutrient that we need a very high level of, but we flat out can't eat the volume of produce to get that level of the nutrient. If you've heard of Medical Medium, he's really big into celery juice. Celery is loaded with nutrients. It's got all sorts of goodies in there for you. However, to get adequate amounts of those nutrients from celery, the amount of celery you'd have to eat, your jaw would tire out, or you'd develop the most muscular jaw in history. Okay, and that's when juicing is really great, because you can get those nutrients.
What would be a good nutrient in celery, for instance? I mean, it doesn't. I know it's high in sodium.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
naturally rich in sodium. It's got some good vitamin E in it. It's got some vitamin C in it. And then it's got little cofactors, little trace elements that we just don't find in a lot of other plants. So celery is kind of unique. Ants on a log is really good for you. Chopping it up and putting it in your stir fry is really good for you. But the volume of the nutrient in celery is, to get really adequate levels, is most easily gained through juicing. So those nutrients, again, just so everybody knows: vitamin C, vitamin E, There's some sodium that's in there that's really good. There's a little bit of potassium that's in there that's really good. There's a bunch of really yummy ways to eat celery, but again, it's the volume question. So juicing is really nice because it takes that volume concern out of things. I got some juicing rules. Always 2 times the veggie compared to fruit.
Okay.
So if you're making an apple, beet, carrot, celery juice, which first of all would be really good for you, just for the record. You'd want to make sure that that apple physically takes up half the space when you lay down all the ingredients to your juicing before you start juicing. It's not the amount of juice that comes out of it. I'm talking about 2 times the physical space. So when I'm looking at my chopping board, the apple is a little bit bigger than a baseball. That would probably be like 2 stalks of celery, a small beet, and 2 carrots. Then I know I've taken up twice the physical space of the apple, the fruit, with the vegetable. That makes sense?
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. And then in the morning, why in the morning? Because a lot of people get really, really energized from juicing. And I don't want you to sip on something that's very energizing at 7 p.m. in the evening. That's going to mess with your sleep cycle. Did that answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like your rules.
Yeah.
That helps to know the important, extra important part of the process.
I've had clients over the years who are just like, yeah, I just juiced a bunch of fruit, but then my blood sugar crashed. I'm like, I believe you. I actually do the same thing, always twice the amount of veggie compared to fruit in all of my smoothies also. I find that makes the smoothies much, much better.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I'm going to see if anything popped up on YouTube.
Okay.
All I know is that we got some people watching and some people liking, so cool. Apparently the microphone I'm wearing works. And it is in fact streaming. Did any questions roll in?
Not yet.
All right, you lovely humans. We have a deal around here. If nobody's chatting in or calling in questions, we call it wraps for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Let's face it, there's going to be some fireworks very soon.
Yeah.
As always, thank you so much for participating and thank you for watching, especially our new people on YouTube. Thrilled that you could be a part of this. We're going to have this set up moving forward. It's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We go live. It's always Ask Me Anything, and occasionally we have guest speakers. We have guest speakers locked in for July 24th and July 31st right now. So you can look forward to them coming in and talking to us. And we're always looking for guest speakers. So if you know somebody out there who's looking either to promote the way they support health or they have really good information about supporting health, I'd love for you to put us in contact with one another. You can do that by calling us. You can do that by messaging us on Instagram. You can check out our videos on YouTube and leave a comment on any of our videos. By the way, we're up to 14,000 views on YouTube already. It's pretty awesome.
Ooh.
We've had 1,200 in the last week alone. And you can always go to our website or email us 3dnewberlin@gmail.com. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching After the Fact. You'll see us next week. Bye for now.